This is FYI, a public affairs program of Strong Tower Christian Media on 93.7 The Light and Hope 100.7.
Hi, and I'm JT. Welcome to FYI, where we talk with interesting people about fascinating projects around Ohio. Today, I am honored to be talking with Wayne Thomas from Love Packages. Wayne, how you doing today, sir?
Doing just wonderful. How about you, Jay?
Great day to be alive. Thank you. Great day to be alive. And I know just enough to be dangerous about Love Packages. I hear the spots on the radio off and on, but I think you've got all the answers for me to tell me how that process works and who's being helped by it. So, Wayne, how long have you been with Love Packages?
20 years. We started with them 20 years ago, and Ruth had heard a little 15-second ad on Christian radio and about Love Packages and collection of used Christian literature to send overseas to missions organizations. And we got thinking about it. Our church at the time was about 150 people. So we decided to have a little campaign and see if people had stuff. We know we did, but we didn't know others did. Well, at the end of the campaign, we had 40 boxes. We couldn't believe it. And so we stuffed all we could in our Taurus and drove to Butler, Illinois, dropped it off. They showed us around. And on the way back, God told me, this is what I want you to do. And he said, I want you to do two things. Get the word out to the people, because if they don't know about it, they can't be involved in it. And two, make it easy for them to participate. So I was 6 months away from retirement, and I was really feeling that God had a ministry for me. And that just kind of confirmed it right there. So away we went.
That is so cool. And thank you for listening and following the project through. You've been doing it now for quite a few years. That's so cool.
Yeah, it is. And it's absolutely fantastic when I think back of all the things we've done. I learned, anytime you get started on the ministry, as you know, JT, it's best to do it God's way rather than our way.
Oh,
So
for sure.
I had to stumble over myself a couple times before I did that. But God's just been so good to us. We do pray a lot. When you go out to Love Packages International, which was started 48 years ago by a gentleman named Steve Schmidt. He was a pastor of a small church out there, and he had some extra literature around. He didn't know what to do with it, and God told him that people needed it all over the world. So he contacted a couple of missionaries and said, could you use literature in English in your ministry? And they said, send all you got as soon as you can get it here. And he kept collecting, and the little churches around him, everything. And like any other ministry, he started in his basement, went out to his garage, and then they bought a closed up elementary school in Butler, Illinois, and used it till it was bulging to the seams. And since that time, they've doubled their size since we've been with them. And so it's just grown and grown and grown. And, they ship over 100 containers a year all over the world. 100 containers. Now, there's about 1 million pieces on each container that goes out. And they don't just ship them to different countries. I just looked it up. They shipped to 22 different countries last year, locations. And they don't just ship them there and say, geez, I hope somebody comes and gets the literature. They have connections with mission organizations, and these people are accountable when they get a delivery. They'll send back what they did with it, where they did with it. A lot of that stuff you can see on the Love Packages Facebook page, and it's pretty exciting stuff. So, they're still going strong out there, and they operate on the free will offerings of individuals and churches. He's not tied into any kind of a organization or any kind of a thing he's financed. And it is amazing, JT. He prays all that money in. Believe me, he does. We've been out there before. They start every morning with prayer and worship. and he'll be sitting there and he'll say, "Geez, Lord, we got 6 containers out on the water we don't have paid for yet, so we sure could use some help." And bingo, it's paid for.
Oh, isn't
And
that
that's
neat?
just what it is. We've seen him. They needed a new truck. He prayed. It was over $100,000. He put it out of the people and prayed it right in. Paid cash for it. He pays cash for everything.
Oh.
And
Now, for those listening who don't know the details, basically you are collecting used Christian materials. What are some of the things that you like to collect, and what are some of the things you don't like to collect?
Okay, yeah, we used and new because we do get some new from time to time, but mostly used. Basically, it kind of comes like this: you and I, whether we have Bibles, devotionals, uh, books we've read that we swear we're going to read again and we don't, uh, good stuff like that. Churches, they get VBS materials, children's literature, Sunday school curriculum, things like that. Even libraries, they want to thin out their libraries or even discontinue them. And what are you going to do with that? I mean, I get call after call after call, JT, of people says, I just can't throw that stuff out. Somebody's got to be able to use it. And
Sure.
so when they find out that it can go to the mission field, gosh, they're just thrilled to death to donate it. And I've had story after story after story of pastors that's got out of the ministry, retired, some have passed away, and so forth, and they've got 200, 250 items in what they've collected over the years, and they have no idea what to do with it, you know. And actually, about 6 months ago, I had a call from a lady in Kettering. She was 96 years old, and she heard your our ad on your station on FCJ, and she called me up and she said, "I am so excited." She said, "I've had 6 boxes of stuff all boxed up here, and I just know my kids are going to take it down to Goodwill." And when I heard that they could go to the mission field, oh, I'm so excited. And I get calls like that all the time, you know. So it's
Yeah.
really putting to work what you and I don't use anymore, and we put it in God's hands and let Him use it in His ministry to get the word out all over the world. And what we take is we take, of course, all kinds of Bibles. Doesn't make any difference if they're marked in or not. We take all kinds of devotionals. Dates don't mean anything. We get all kinds of Christian books written by your regular Christian authors, Sunday school curriculum, uh, kids' Sunday school curriculum, particularly VBS materials, magazines. We take CDs and DVDs. We do not take cassettes or videotapes anymore. We used to, but you can't get the equipment for it anymore. So
Yeah.
and we don't take sometimes people when they tear down libraries, they'll send a few books like on nutrition and stuff like that, and exercise, and we don't send things like that. To be honest with you, JT, I mean, of the loads and loads and loads of things that we get, we do not get very much outside that realm. Once in a while, somebody will stick something in there, but it's a very, very small.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned costs. I'm guessing folks can donate. There's probably a website or something like that where folks can go to donate for the shipping of it
Yeah.
overseas. That's not free. People probably don't donate their time to take it there.
No, it's interesting. Lead packages out there. They've got 4 paid employees. They have another location down in Decatur, Illinois, or Decatur, Alabama, has 2 paid employees, and all the rest is volunteers. And
Wow.
volunteers come in every day. Uh, that's kind of how we got to know everybody. When we first started, uh, oh gosh, we got rolling. We get a van load a month. Of course, here we sat in Lebanon, right in between Dayton and Cincinnati, and we get a van load a month. And geez, we thought we were knocking them dead, man. And so we took our van and we would drive out to Butler, which is about a 5.5, 6 hour trip. And we'd stay overnight. We'd work a half a day out there. And then we'd come back, get up in the morning, work a half a day, and then drive back. And my wife was still working at the time, so we could only spend that time. But we got to know so many neat people, got to see how things were done, and how people work together. When they go to load a container in there, and listen, Butler, Illinois, it's such a big town, they don't even have a flashing light, no McDonald's, no post office, no nothing. So without love packages, there would be nothing there. Farm community, and they've got these guys, these people, they'll put out a thing, hey, we're going to load a truck tomorrow. We need some help. And these guys will just show up, dedicated, faithful all the time. And it's the kind of people you get. Over the years, I've had so many calls from people that churches that want us to pick up and things. And I've talked to church secretaries for 15 years and I've never met them. And gosh, but that's what God does to you. It's just like you and I, JT. We've never met. So they didn't talk till the other day. But listen, we're in the same family.
That's
And
right.
that's how it works together. See, so
Yep.
we're here in Lebanon. We're called a regional collection center. And what we try to do is, of course, we start out Dayton, Cincinnati, but when you get on Christian radio, you got to go where it goes. And so we got Columbus and up to Delaware. And we've been all over. We go, we probably go a third of the state of Ohio at least, and maybe more. And we also go to northern Kentucky, Indiana a little bit, and got connections with people out there that pick up for us. And I got to say, we built it just kept getting bigger. Steve Schmidt told me out there, he said, you better look out, Wayne, this thing's going to get bigger and bigger. Boy, he was right. And we've had our times where he says, Lord, I don't know what to do, man. And we started hauling things in our van. Then we started renting trailers. We started renting trucks, and we got to the point we didn't know what to do. And finally, one day I said to Steve, they had a truck. And I said, how much does it cost you to operate that truck? He said, 50 cents a mile. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you what, if you'll come in and pick up a load from us, so we don't have to rent a truck, because, we don't know how to drive a truck. That's not us. I said, I'll give you a $400 check each time. It's 350 miles one way. It's 700 round trip. We give them four, and that's what they do. And they come in and they get 26 pallets on a load, and that's how we ship it. So, and then we were picking up, and anything that had wheels on it, my golly, we had all kinds of things, and we were looking for a cargo van that could hold weight. But we knew we could only afford something small. And my guys at church says, "Hey, wait, there's a van down there for sale. They only want $3,000 for it." I said, "How many miles on it?" They said, "Oh, 250,000." I said, "Oh, geez, just what we need, And a guy from another church in town here that worked with us in the love packages regularly, he came up to us on a Christmas day. Ruth and I were working in ministry, doing a community wheel down in Lebanon. And he come walking in the door. He says, "I like what you guys do over there. I want to help you get a van." And he handed me a check for $15,000. And I took it back to our pastor, who used to be in the car business. So he knew all about it. And here it was right at the end of the year. And a couple of guys made some contacts about a van over, and they found a van that we wanted. It was in Richmond, Indiana. And pastor said, we can throw $5,000 in that. So he called him up and he says, "I've got $20,000 for that van." He said, "Lock, stock, and barrel, take it or leave it. That's it." And the guy said, "I'll call you back." 15 minutes later, he called me back, says, "You bought a van." And pastor called me up and says, "Hey, let's go get our van, man. You talk about praising the Lord on the way back, driving back, And
That is
that's
so
just
cool.
what the things that happen every time we've been up between a rock and a hard place, so to speak. God's met our need, and we just keep moving. And you guys, golly, when you guys particularly um, when you come together there in Xenia, we really saw a kick up of everything that we do, and our number of calls that we get, and connections we get, and
Well, it is such an honor to team up with you. It's neat to work with kingdom workers in kingdom work. You know what I mean?
oh
So
yeah, and the
thank you.
truth, yeah,
Thank you for
I love
doing what
what
you do.
Joey Miller put out the other day,
Yeah.
and on that, and just to show you where we're at, 2021, 2022, 2023, we shipped 650 pallets of materials out to Illinois.
Wow.
And that's a lot. That's a lot of literature.
Yeah. Well, we are out of time, Wayne. Not out of time to keep serving, but out of time to keep talking. So, Wayne, thank you for what you're doing. Lovepackages.com, I believe. .org. Thank you.
That's the
Lovepackages.org.
yeah.
And here locally, they can get in touch with you in Lebanon, and you'll pick up and deliver around the Miami Valley. I hear you saying a lot of Ohio.
Yeah, yeah. You can get us at New Freedom Church, Lebanon, Ohio, Wayne Thomas, 513-932-7535, or you can get me direct on my cell phone, Wayne Thomas, 937-409-1175.
You got some old Bibles, Christian literature sitting around. Wayne Thomas wants to help you get it in hands of people who need it. So, Wayne, thank you for your time today. Appreciate it very much. Keep up the good work with Love Packages.
My pleasure, and thank you, JT.
This is FYI, a public affairs program of Strong Tower Christian Media on 93.7 The Light and Hope 100.7.